Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League Season 17 Vietnam Grand Prix for the Tier 2 race tonight. We're excited to be back and for the first time here in Vietnam. Obviously we had the Tier 1 race yesterday for the first ever Vietnamese Grand Prix in STB. So we are back tonight with the Tier 2 race, so thank you all for joining. Tonight I'm joined by F1 Gravity again in the commentary box. How are you tonight, Gravity?
Not too bad. Looking forward to this race around Vietnam.
Well, obviously we don't really know what we're expecting massively. We had a bit of a taster yesterday, as we said, the Tier 1 race, but it is the first Grand Prix in Vietnam and at this track. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a mix of strategies tonight. Definitely some people trying to qualify on mediums, I think, will give it a go. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the most on the soft. But yeah, last time out we saw FNT Kevin take a pretty dominant victory over Maggie Watt in second place. What did you make of his performance last week?
Well, it was pretty solid. He led from start to finish, didn't make any mistakes. He really did the perfect job.
Yeah, I think he definitely had the strongest pace out of everybody on the grid. He definitely proved that. We saw Timo Akata was very, very strong as well in qualifying. He couldn't quite make that show in the race. But yeah, I think Kevin's going to be looking for another strong result tonight. We have some new drivers in for tonight, a few reserves stepping in for a few drivers who are missing. So we'll have to see what those can do as well. Obviously we haven't got any idea of what the pace that they're on. So it will be very, very interesting to see whereabouts they can put themselves on the grid. It is blue sky in this qualifying session. We don't know what it's going to be like for the race. Gravity, do you want to get Callum in the follow?
I'll give it a go.
So we're on board currently with Martino 0922. His debut in the league. So we'll have to see what he can do. There's a big slide on the exit there, coming through a very tight and twisty final sector. It's just corner after corner. Just swing it in, try and hook up the best you can. Goes a little bit wide there on the penultimate corner. As Gifford sets the first time on the board. Watch Martino as he comes up to the timing line now. He sets a 33.8, so not too bad from the Williams driver on his banker lap. As Typhon's had an issue, Gravity, he's hit the wall somewhere on his lap and he's lost his front wing, so he's back in the pits. So we see Nagy Bok going provisional P1. Good luck from him.
Yeah, I got a glimpse of Typhon's first sector and it looked pretty solid. That's a shame he wasn't able to complete the lap.
Typhon's had a very difficult start to the season, hasn't he? I think he's definitely got the pace. As we see Valari there getting in the way of, I think that was Davi, it was. Davi's not going to be happy with that one. But yeah, we saw, I think Typhon's got the pace to at least score some good points, but he hasn't really had the chance to prove that yet. So for him, this is going to be a very, very important race. But we do have Callum Frampton in the party for a qualifying interview. So Callum, if you'd like to include your audio, I'm going to give you a couple of questions so you can get on. So it's the first Vietnamese Grand Prix. how are you feeling ahead of this one? Have you done some good practice? Are you feeling confident?
Really the kind of tracks I like about street circuits. I like nice and flowing stuff, Austria, but hopefully I can get top 10 maybe something out of this race.
Well, you haven't had a too bad of a start to the season. You've scored some good points. But are you looking further on in this season to possibly get yourself towards the front of the grid and be challenging for podiums and possibly race victories?
This season is more about just consistency, hoping to get a couple, just constantly be getting points. Obviously last week I couldn't quite do that, but the week before I got some solid points, and towards the end of the season I will be looking to get a couple podiums, hopefully just for that confidence going into next season, maybe start a title challenge, I don't know, we're going to have to wait and see.
And as for the race, are you feeling more confident possibly in this qualifying, or is your race pace looking quite strong? And is there anything different in the weather for the race as well? Could throw a bit of a spark.
Unlike yesterday, there is once again nothing, no rain. There is no rain. There is very sunny. But my qualifying pace I'm hoping for is normally a bit better than my race pace, but I have been working a bit more on my race pace, which it might be a bit better today.
Okay, well thank you very much for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck for the race.
Thank you.
Oh, there was a bit of a traffic jam in the first sector.
Yeah,
I think a Ferrari was
see that.
compromised.
Yeah. We also saw Davi hit the wall whilst we were interviewing Callum as well, so he's not got the best lap in to start with. But yeah, Callum's definitely had a decent start to the season. I think he'll still be looking forward to seeing what he can do in future. But he has scored some good points so far, so I think he can be quite happy with the season he's had so far.
Yeah, it's not been too bad. He said before he was looking for consistency, and I think if you can get that down, just constantly be getting those points in, then you'll find yourself higher up the championship than you might think.
Well, yeah, obviously we've seen, in many categories, but especially here in STB as well, previous seasons, that consistency is what wins you the titles in the end. So yeah, for him it would definitely be very important. Whether this be a season for him to sort of test the waters and see what he can do, and maybe go for it in the next season. As we see, Pitbull is off at the end of the long straight, and he's sort of spinning himself around there, so he's obviously missed his braking point at the end of the straight. But halfway through the session, Nagybot's still on provisional pole. I have to admit, I was expecting to see some overall faster lap times at this point. We've got Nagybot setting a pretty decent time, and Martino as well, but the rest are still in the 34s at this point.
Well, it is a very difficult lap to get right. I think probably one of the hardest on the calendar. There's so many difficult traction zones and just odd lines you have to take, especially through the roundabout. It's just a very difficult lap to get right.
It's a very long lap as well. Yeah, I think you've got difficult tracks such as maybe Spa, Silverstone, ones like that, but they're ones that you can get a rhythm and sort of just get a flow going, whereas this one is a little bit more difficult to hook up throughout an entire lap. As you said, Gifford's just hit the wall in the final sector. He was on for a decent lap, so he's going to have to peel into the pits and get his front wing changed. But we'll go on board with Nagybot as he is midway through his lap now. He's gone a little bit deep at the hairpin. See how much that compromises him as he comes through the second sector line now. He is 2 tenths down in his time, and he's on a massive slide on exit, and he's lost traction there, and that's going to be his lap over and done with, I think. as he comes through the final section. Yeah, he's pulled into the pits last minute.
Yeah, I'm watching
Martin's backed off.
Matty Banter come through this final sector. At the hairpin, he had like 3-4 cars in front of him, and that's just, even if they don't actively hold you up, it's just a distraction.
It's funny on this track because although you've got walls through most of the corners, it is a long track and there's a lot of places that you'd think you could get out of the way, but in practice it doesn't really work out like that. It is quite difficult to jump out the way of people, especially when they come up on you as fast as some of them do.
Also, that pit lane exit, sometimes you're just not paying a little bit of attention and it comes right onto the racing line.
I think
very
definitely
easy to block someone's lap.
Yeah, it would definitely be something to watch out for, especially in the race. And also the pit entry as well is very, very awkward. So it's just another hurdle really for the drivers to think about and make sure that they are paying attention. So Kevin so far in the session has not set a flying lap. So I think he's going to be a little bit concerned possibly with that. I think he might be on a lap at the moment, so have a look. Looks like he's still pushing. But he is going to come up on a bit of traffic in this final sector. There's a lot of cars going slowly, I think. A lot of them coming into the pit lane, but we'll catch them by the end of the sector. As we see if he's apparently purple in the middle sector, so we will stay on board with him for this final windy section.
Even from this distance behind, he'll be getting some dirty air, which is just a bit of a nightmare for him.
And even distracting him as well. Nevalari is about to start a lap, so that's not good from the Alfa Romeo driver as he's right behind him now. That'll definitely be something the stewards look at, I think, as Kevin comes up to the line. Definitely affected him in the end. 34.1.
100%.
And I'm not sure he's going to get another lap in either. So that for him is not good. Enzo's set a time, and Tavares as well has gone P2. So the times are starting to come down a bit. You see the AlphaTauri's on a lap, which is Gifford. So watch him. He's coming through the middle sector. It's a very, very wide line. You flick it back in, try and get close to the wall on the right hand side. And then you're down this very, very long straight. Into a very, very tight hairpin as well. It's a very difficult one to get right, especially if you're battling other cars. Picks his braking on the right hand side. Keeps it pretty tidy, maybe a tiny bit deep on the brakes. See if he's up on his lap time. He is 4 tenths up gravity, so with a good final sector he could put himself on at least the second row here. Oh, he's hit the wall again in the same place, and he's absolutely smacked it on the other side. And that is his lap over. We see as well, as coming up behind him, as we see VR46 is sideways on the racing line. Luckily there's no cars coming through, so he's able to spin around and continue.
Clifford will have time for another lap if he's quick though, if he has the tyres, even after that mistake. So it might not all be lost.
I think he will just about have time. The ones that are in the pits now will have time to set a lap. As we see, Typhon is lost his front wing again. I think for the same corner in that final sector. I don't think he's going to make it out for another run. So that's very disappointing for him.
It'll be a bit tight if he does.
Well, we're watching Wazzy. He is, I believe, one of the only drivers on a flying lap at the moment. Slightly up in the first sector. He's got plenty more opportunity to get as much time as he can. He takes a much narrower line through that fast left-hander.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the line we'll be wanting to take. It's compromised his exit a little bit.
Compromised him on the exit. He didn't quite hook it up on the left or the right, really. He was sort of in the middle of the track. You see a bit of kerfuffle going on at the pit exit, as we were mentioning. There's two drivers trying to get out of the way. I believe one of them is Matt. Oh, he's gone a bit deep at the hairpin. There's debris on the track as well from the car in front. You see Ballin. That is Ballin out of the session on the left-hand side. We didn't quite catch it, but you can see him on the map. He is out of this session.
Yeah. It just looked like he sort of drove it to the wall. He must have lost it on traction.
Yeah.
He just sort
we
of
saw
slid
Wazzy
over
have
to the left.
a bit of a slide. I think pretty much in the same spot that he must have lost it. But he is coming through the final two corners now. This will be his final run. We'll see what he can do as he comes up to the timing line. Where's it going to put him? It's going to put him P8. And that will be at best, with the drivers still to set their laps. I think Nagybot is on a lap. Gravity, he is 2 tenths up in the middle sector. He's just got this final sector to try and nail. He could.
It's looking good.
Yeah, he could extend his advantage up front. Seemed to be a little bit tentative through there. Might have lost a bit of time, but see what he can do. Can he put himself further ahead on Frisian pole position? He can, but he's only by a tenth and a half in the end, so I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with that, as his teammate Tavares is coming up behind. So he comes across the line. He was down in the end, so that's his session done.
When you know you're up, it's very easy to just be a bit more tentative through the last part of the lap to make sure
as we see, yeah, that's Maudi, sorry. He's off. That's the penultimate corner. See Martin come across the line. He goes P2. Just behind Nagybot. So he has
splits the
Haas 1-2. So, and I think Enzo. Oh my goodness! There's carnage at turn 1. Gravity, turn 2, sorry. And Enzo's had his lap ruined. As you see, Gifford behind. He seemed to have span on the racing line, and Enzo had no chance to avoid him. There was also a Williams on the right hand side. I'm not sure if they were caught up together, but that's ruined Enzo's lap. He's not going to get final money.
In the meantime, Matty Banter's almost a second up on his previous time going through the middle sector.
Well, we'll keep an eye on him then as he comes to the final corner. Can he put himself any higher? Possibly on the second row or higher. He comes across the line. He does. He goes P3. Only just misses out on the front row start. So good luck from him, as Kevin is a tenth and a half up in the middle sector. And I think the final sector is where he threw a lot of his time away. So if he can hook this up, it's looking good for the Ferrari driver. What can he do then? I think he's one of the last drivers who is going to contend for the front start, and he's going to go P4.
Oh,
very, very close behind
very close.
Matty Banter as well. Nivellari's just crossed the line. He goes P9. It's just the two McLarens, I believe, now. We'll keep an eye on Typhon, who will be crossing the line first. It's the sector that he's had some issues with in this session. The front, he's backed off. So
yeah,
his lap obviously wasn't good enough.
Way down.
Russell's invalidated his lap. So we'll stay on board with VR46. He's the last driver. Seemed to hook it up reasonably well in that final sector. See on his debut if he can get himself any higher than P13. Run up VRS deployment, so that will compromise him a bit as he comes through the final corner. Comes across the line. He goes P2, Gravity.
Wonderful.
Great lap from the McLaren driver. Only just misses
Really
out his purple in the
end.
second and third sector. And only just misses out on pole. So great lap from him. But that looks like that is your grid order for the first Tier 2 Vietnamese Grand Prix. So Nagybot showing his pace, and he will take pole position. F&T Kevin will be disappointed down in P5 though.
Yeah, Nuvolari as well, all the way down in P10. He's been consistently strong.
Yeah, and he was quite far off in the end. The top 8 are within 6/10 of each other. And then 9th down to 14th, or even 15th, sorry. Were only separated by a couple of tenths. So here is your grid order for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. It's Nagybot who will start on pole. VR46 will start second on his debut. Great result from him, as well as Martineau as well. P3. Matty Banter starts P4. Kevin probably disappointed down in P5. Tavares strong P6. Enzo as well down in P7. Pitbull on his debut starts in P8. FXBR Surat down in 9th place. 10th will be DSP Nuvolari. 11th Wazi. 12th MRL Cineflight. 13th Gifford. 14th LCR Typhon. 15th Davy. 16th Callum Frampton. 17th Maudi. He'll be very disappointed with that. 18th is Colbert Jassy. 19th Ballin. And back of the grid will be Russell.
I think one to keep an eye out for, starting outside the top 10 with 3 tyre choices, Cineflow. He gained a lot of positions in Bahrain.
Yeah, he had a strong strategy, didn't he? A very strong strategy from the Renault driver. He managed to get himself in a strong points scoring position in the end.
Although around here it's not quite as beneficial to go on the alternate tyres as it was in Bahrain, but depending on whether he does a 1 or a 2 stop, it could prove interesting. It's just giving him a few more options.
Exactly, yeah. Even if he starts on the soft tyres, he's got a fresh set, which means he can go a little bit further in the race, trying to avoid pit lane carnage. So I think, he will be reasonably happy with P11. As you said, it's not necessarily the quick strategy to go for a 1-stop round here, which is a first, really, for any of the tracks. So.
But what you really do have to consider is traffic. You do have that massive back straight. But if the driver ahead of you that's set on staying ahead uses his overtake, it's going to be very difficult.
It is, which I think is why it is very, very important to have pole position around here. Obviously, Nagybot will not have slipstream and DRS, but he will have control out front. So he is looking like the strongest out here, but it will be very interesting to see as well what the guys behind him can do. VR46 is an unknown for us really, but starting front row. Matt, we've seen his pace in Australia. Kevin as well, dominated in Bahrain. Tavares always throws himself in the mix, as well as Enzo, so... slight issue for Cineflow is that he has been disqualified from the formation lap, so his tyres are going to be stone cold. As we see the predicted strategy down bottom. Soft, medium, soft I think will be what most people go with, but Wazi as well. Wazi's decided to start on a set of hards, and obviously he's been disqualified as well, so he's going to fall back from the start, I think, with those cold tyres. But everybody outside the top 10 has started on mediums, apart from Russell, who's starting on a set of softs, Kobayashi, who's starting on a set of hards, and Wazi as well, on a set of hard tyres.
That's actually quite interesting, because I'm not sure that starting on mediums gives you a big advantage than starting on softs.
I think, obviously we didn't quite see the strategy in the race yesterday, as heavens opened yet again, but I think a lot of people would have gone for the 2-stop strategy, soft, medium, soft, with some going mediums to hards, but the hards around this track they're just not very good in reality.
If Wazi, who starts on hards, can manage to not fall down too far off the start, maybe get helped a bit in the safety car for the first few laps to keep him close, then potentially his strategy could work for him going on softs at the end.
Well, even those starting on the mediums can still go medium, soft, soft, if that is what they want to do and be very, very quick at the end. We see Russell's coming through the final corner now. He'll be the last man to line up on his grid slot. As that's a lie, there's a Ferrari as well who's a bit behind. I think that is Callum Frampton. It is, as he takes his grid slot. We've got the green flag from the marshal in the background. They all line up into place now, waiting for the lights to come on ahead of the drivers. It's 1 light, it's 2 lights, it's 3 lights, it's 4 lights, it's 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And it's lights out, and away they go for the first Vietnamese Grand Prix. Who's got the best start at the front? We've got a couple. Oh, there's been a contact, big contact at the start already. And yeah, Gifford's already been spanned. Maudi's been caught up in that. Typhon's caught up in that. And we have a virtual safety car already, Gravity.
I mean, I'm not surprised. That was carnage off the line.
I didn't quite catch
Almost
what
immediately there
happened
was contact.
because there was a timing glitch as usual, as it still hasn't sorted itself out. It looked as if, I believe, Typhon, Gifford, and there was another driver involved as well. They seemed to just sort of get squeezed together and not even making it to turn 1, as Gifford's already out of the session, and Typhon's been given a penalty for the collision at the start from the stewards, so they think that he is to blame for that one, as Nagybot now leads them away down the straight, still under VSC. It should end very soon, as Martineau's getting very close to the back of him, Gravity. He's looking to get the jump straight away off of this VSC restart.
Yeah, we talked about Wazi on the hards. He's managed to keep his position. Ooh, did the Williams just touch the Ferrari through the hairpin?
Well, the green flag again, so keep an eye on behind. You see the Haas looking to make a move on Livalar, as we see, I think Russell has had a spin somewhere. He has at the hairpin, I think. So not a good start from him. We've got a big cluster in the midfield here, Gravity. Pretty much all the way down from Matty. Yeah, all the way down to the rest of the grid. Much to Cineflow. So I think Maudi's been caught up in an instant as well. He's at the back of the grid. As we see Tavares making a mistake and Pitbull's made his way through. Has Tavares lagged out of the session? I think he has.
Oh, the timing.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing at this point, and I cannot scroll through at the moment. I'll keep an eye on the lead train in case anything goes on in front. Martineau still keeping tabs with Nagybot. And behind him comes Kevin and his teammate Serrat as well.
Yeah, Kevin's had a decent start. It wasn't the best qualifying for him, but he's up to 3rd now. And, you know, from 3rd anything can happen. If he has the pace, he can easily catch and fight for the race win.
Well, Serrat as well had a very good start, starting down in P9. He's now up in P4. So, yeah, he's putting himself in the mix already, as we said. Martineau's looking very, very racy here early on. So, possibly getting to contend. See, Cineflow and Ballin side by side at the hairpin, and Cineflow's lost some front wing there. Didn't quite catch the whole of that, but he's lost his right end plates on his front wing. So it's not looking good for the Renault driver. Both Renault drivers caught up in instance already. And I don't know about you, Gravity, but I've been given 3 predicted pit stop strategies, and they've all been different so far. So that's great from the game.
Yeah, not one has flashed up on my screen.
Great, so it's just me then. As DRS is enabled, they head on to the 3rd lap now. And we've got a bit of a train forming. Matt seems to be struggling already. He's got no damage, so possibly just struggling for a bit of tyre warm-up early stages. He's going to need to try and get himself back on this lead pack if he's going to have a chance at least a podium.
Yeah, 46 getting rather close to
as you see,
Williams in front of him.
He was looking down the inside of Kobayashi then. He's also got Ballin just behind him, so there's a battle forming up behind. We'll keep an eye on this as well. It looks as if I'm looking at a Renault for some reason. It is Cineflow, but I was not hard-acted on him. As you see Davi now is dropping off the back of Kobayashi. He's not using his ERS, but behind Cineflow he's looking very, very, very strong down the straight. Tucked in the slipstream, 2 Red Bull drivers ahead of him. He brakes early, it's better off going for the move. So we'll go single file through. Oh, big slide from Cineflow. He's really struggling on that exit.
I think the Williams in second has damage. Kevin.
Yeah, he's dropped right off the back. Yeah, he has. He's lost control of his front wing, and they're 3 wide at one point. And Surratt, out of nowhere, is up into P2.
That may have caught the Ferrari by surprise. There was a bit
it's been a spin! And he's in the wall. Has he gotten away with that?
I don't know if he got away with that.
He doesn't look to have damage. I think he's gotten away with it, Gravity.
He's a
very lucky boy, yeah.
Nuvolari is on his inside.
Yeah. Seemed to whack the wall at some pace. And Matt is now in this train. But Nagybot has just flown out in front. Enzo's looking to make the move on pitbull. Pretty simple from the Racing Point driver. Up into P7. He's going to look to get on this train as well. But yeah, that's great news for Nagybot.
Surratt as well didn't quite look like he had the pace when he was behind. He was 4-1 away from Kevin, and VR46 was catching him really quickly.
Well, he seems to be pulling
so
away.
it'll be interesting to see.
You see, the gap's nearly over a second.
That makes me wonder if Kevin...
As you see Matt up the inside of the hairpin, very audacious move, but he has made it stick unless Kevin can fight back, and he looks like he is, yeah. Matt lost it on the exit. And Kevin holds the position, but he is now 2 seconds behind Surratt. So not good for the Brazilian driver.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Kevin has some light front wing damage from his small collision with the Williams.
Go off board to the final sector, see if it gives us a view of his front wing. But usually you're able to tell. It looks to be alright, so maybe he's just struggling for pace early on. Oh, Matt's clonked the wall as well, and Nuvolari has
Nuvolari has smacked the wall.
Yeah, Matt hit it even harder, I think, and they've gotten away with it. So, very interesting. Tavares supposedly sets fastest lap, but I don't believe that, because that lap's faster than the qualifying times. See Davi making a move on Tavares.
Something that is
side by side, yeah, he's
promising.
disconnected, I think, so...
Is in P9.
We've got a safety car, Gravity.
Cards.
Gravity, we've got a safety car. Safety car is out.
Oh my.
And that
Where's that
looks
coming
to
from?
be for a Renault of STB Maudi, maybe. No, he still seems to be going. It's a McLaren.
Is it Typhon?
It's Typhon. LCR Typhon have just cleared his car in the final sector. And that's going to be interesting to see who comes into the pit lane. That completely wipes out Nagybot's advantage. But I think most drivers are going to come into the pits here.
I was talking about how this could be good for Wesley, but now the safety car has come out, it's sort of ruined all that, unless he pits as well.
Well, he's only just come out of the pit lane, I think. No, sorry, not Wazzy. Martineau's just come out of the pit lane. So he's going to be a bit disappointed with that. Yeah, we'll have to see if drivers try and go to the end on the set of hards, or if they commit to a two-stop. After, obviously, the gap's going to be wiped out as Nagybot, last minute, does dive into the pits. We'll watch what Surratt does. Surratt does the same. Kevin as well. I think all of them are going to be diving in. Matty's coming, VR's coming, Nuvolari's coming, Enzo's in, Pitbull's in. Wazzy continues.
And Wazzy is staying out.
Yeah. See what the guys behind him do as well. As we watch what these guys in the pit lane go on.
He might take the lead here.
Yeah, we've got masses of cars in the pit lane, Gravity. See what tyres they'll go on. There's hards, a lot of hards. Nagybot, Surratt on a set of hards. Kevin's gone for a medium, he's on the two-stop. VR is on the mediums. Kevin's on mediums, Matty's on mediums. Yeah, so Nagybot's going for the one-stop. So this is really, yeah, it's throwing everything in the air. Kobayashi just made it out ahead of his teammate. That banter. So, yeah, I think the problem is for these guys is Wazzy's out in front, and he's going to be holding up Nagybot, and Davy is out in front of all the medium runners.
Everyone
both
has
gonna
made
get
a
held
pit
up.
stop except for Wazzy, Davy, and Kobajansky.
Yeah, but that throws everybody back into play now. The likes of Sinflow, who had wing damage, Maudi was very far back, are now all back in this.
That is true.
It would have been great to see a
Davy,
safety car in
interestingly.
yesterday's race, but we've already got one on lap 6 in Tier 2.
Interestingly, Davy has opted to stay out, and he's on a set of mediums.
Well, I suppose for him, it makes sense, because if he's still going for the 2-stop, then he may as well use the life that he's got in his mediums and go for 2 sets of softs at the end. I assume he didn't have a fresh set of mediums, otherwise he would have pit for... It's basically just a free pit stop. He'll get in fresh tyres and 2 stints at the end, which would be a lot easier. But obviously we haven't... The strategy that we're talking about, 2-stop, is theoretically fastest if you can execute it right, but that is not including safety cars.
It's
So
true.
I'm not really sure how this is going to affect what's fastest, really. So obviously,
There's a
those
good
that start on the
mix
softs,
of people
a
on
lot
hards
of
and
pace
people on
early on.
mediums.
Yeah, there is. I think more people are actually on hard tyres, which I'm surprised to see. Matt has overtaken on the safety car for some reason. I think Enzo came past him and let him back through. But I still think that the 2-stoppers are going to have a better strategy at this point. If they can pass through the traffic,
Right.
they're certainly going to have the pace.
You might be right.
We'll have to see. Safety car should be in this lap. If Russell can catch up to the back of the grid, it'll be certain, but I think it will peel into the pits at the end of this lap anyway. But at this point, I think my favourite is probably on Kevin at this stage of the race. Maybe
Yeah,
that was looking
it's a
very
good
clear.
shout. Yeah, it depends on the pace of the hard runs in front of him. And if he gets too much traffic on his 2-stop.
Yes, yeah. Obviously, he's going to have a massive train on all of the guys behind Enzo on the hard tyres. They're going to have to pass them when they go on their first set of softs, realistically.
And there are a lot of hard runners out there.
Yes, there's P10 all the way down to P14, as well as Maudi in P16. Safety car is in this lap, as we were discussing. I think the deltas are slightly glitched, so we'll have to just keep an eye on the action ourselves. Wazzy leads the pack away. As he's slowing right down this final sector, punching them right up. Russell has caught the back of this train, so all to play for him. As the safety car is in the pit lane. So now we wait on Wazzy. But who can get the best
Will he be able to maintain the
restart?
lead?
Yep, it will be interesting to see if Nagybot goes flat out at the start to try and get past him. But he's leaving it late here, Wazzy. Backing him right up. And Kevin's been given a 5-second penalty, Gravity, for a collision with Davy. So that's not good for him, but Wazzy has decided to go finally. We are green flag again. Racing underway as we see Matt already past his teammate Kobayashi in the background. And he's up into P7, so he needed that move ASAP. And we have Davy off the track at turn 1. He's forced Kevin off as well. These two are having a bit of a misunderstanding. And Kevin's going to look to make the move down into turn 4. He's running outside, side by side with Davy. He's going to have the inside line. It should be a simple move for the Ferrari driver. It gives him a bit of a squeeze, and he's got the move done. And just behind
Yeah,
him,
he's on much
big
fresher
battle as well.
tyres.
Pitbull's
Davy
just
not
got
deciding
past.
to fight it.
And VR's now got past Davi. Interesting place to overtake
Snuck
there.
that one through.
Yeah, not so many overtakes there. Good move from the McLaren driver. And he is using his overtake here. He was going for the move on Kevin by the looks of it. But he switched it off last minute. He is right in the back of Kevin. Kevin has lost a big chunk of time to the front guys, but obviously these are on mediums.
There's been a change for the lead. Nagybot has managed to get through at the
He and I think that's very important for his race. But what can Surratt do now? Can he make the move as soon as possible, as he is obviously on for this victory as well? With Nagybot, he needs to try and stay with him. Wazzy's really struggling. Not sure if his tyres have just gone a bit off already, or if he's just struggling around this track.
Well, he's run out of
Nagybot's
the
driving away.
At least he has on my screen.
He has, yes.
I could give Surratt an
Still got the overtake
opportunity,
button,
but
yeah. He's still got 50%
he's too far ahead.
in his battery. But everybody seems to have got through the safety car restart fine. It's now Surratt right on the back of Wazzy. He's going to look to try and make a move. Down into turn 4. Seen a couple of moves done already through there. Kevin on the last lap. He is using his overtake. He's a little bit too far back by Gravity. And Wazzy is dumping the pack to stay ahead.
Interesting in this fight though is Kevin right behind.
Yeah, he's looking racy. He really needs to get past these guys and basically just keep his advantage on these medium tyres. As we've got an incident at the back, we'll have a look at that. A couple of drivers involved. Maudi,
Siniflow again.
and Ballin. Maudi now tucks into the slipstream and Ballin lets him through. I'm not sure if he had a legal overtake for overtaking under yellows. We see they're getting very, very close. As Kevin's really on the back of Surratt now. He needs to get past for his race. This is really important for him. He's going to be stuck behind him all the way through the final sector though. And Nagybot is driving off.
Kevin took a sneak peek around the outside of the hairpin, but thought better of it. Now VR46 showing for party.
Yeah, if Kevin can't get this move done, then McLaren's really going to be pushing him. We've got DRS enabled. And yellow flag in the front sector, that is for Ballin. He's into the pit lane. So he's picked up damage somewhere as this train is really beginning to form now. Nagybot is just extended his advantage. This is what he needs in this race. Kevin right on the back of Surratt now. And we've got another safety car.
Safety car again.
And that is for a Haas. There is a Haas off. It's Tavares. On the right hand side, if we go on board with Maudi, no. That's on the exit of turn 1, so we can't see that. He's just ploughed on at turn 1, Gravity.
That is quite a bizarre one.
I think more importantly, this realistically doesn't help the medium runners because it gives them less laps to be able to push and extend their advantage. So I think at this point, Surratt and Nagybot are looking like the ones in the driving seat now.
This is a good point. Interesting to see what Wazzy is going to do. If he keeps staying out on that set of hards, or maybe he switches up his strategy.
He should pit. It would make the problem is if he pits now, look at all the positions you can lose. He's going to be at the back of the grid. So I think he'll stay out, and then he can go possibly softs to the end when he reaches about.
He
No, he does dive into the pits. Yeah.
What's he going on?
Surratt's in the pits.
Can he take mediums?
And
this
Kevin's
far?
in the pits. So I think Kevin is looking to go on a set of hards. Davi's in the pits as well. So let's give an on what
they must all think mediums can go this far.
Yeah, I think Kevin's serving his 5-second stop go as well. And he's gone for a set of mediums. Wazzy, set of mediums. Surratt, set of mediums. I don't think mediums will go to the end. I really don't. It's going to be right on the edge for all of these that are going on mediums. It's thrown Kevin all the way down to the back of the grid though. Also behind Davy as well.
I have no idea how this is going to play out.
I mean, we'll be under safety car for at least another lap, so realistically I think we're going to get started beginning of lap 13. Can they really take the medium 16 laps? I think it might be doable. But the issue for all of these that gone on mediums is that Nagybot and pretty much everybody else on the hards in front of them, they're going to the end as well. So they haven't got to worry about it.
But then you've got the likes of VR46, Matty Banter and Enzo. They've all stayed out on their set of mediums.
They're going to be ones to watch for, I think. If they can get past Nagybot early on, with about a 10-second gap, which will be difficult, but...
What's going on here then? Davy and Kevin and Cineflow squabbling at the hairpin under the safety car.
They're all trying to get as close to the pack as they can. We will be another lap under safety car. There's Russell and Maudi at the back of the grid. I'm not at the back of this train yet. But yeah, I think strategy... Yeah, I don't know how to call this at the moment. We've got such a mix of strategies throughout the field. Jesse as well is on a very old set of hards. Martin as well is on a reasonably old hard tyres. And they're in the middle of this train.
Was he very nearly into the back of Koga Jesse? That almost gave me a heart attack. I don't know what he would have felt like.
Oh, hello. VR's showing off his rally skills through turn 2. Big slide. Yeah, I'm not really sure what Surat and Kevin are thinking at this point. I mean, I assume they're going to try and
What
get
this
to the
has
end.
done though is it's removed all of the hard runners between Nagybot and VR46, so he has a straight shot on the faster tyres.
Yeah.
To try and get past as quickly as possible.
Matt Lenzo will be filling his mirrors, I'm sure, in the restart. But yeah, so far Nagybot's really been in control of this race. Hasn't looked to falter, hasn't made a mistake. As of yet. But yeah, it's going to be very difficult on the restart for him to keep all of the medium runners behind him.
He's lost Wazee, his rear gunner.
Nice, safety car. Safety car's in this lap.
Or is Nagybot gonna do the Wazee approach and leave it till the last minute to go?
I think it's probably for the best around here. And we'll run on board with VR. And safety car still isn't in the pit lane, so can't go yet. He's going reasonably fast, he's not backing them up massively.
Yeah, he's looking eager.
He is slowing them down now. Through the final corner as VR's already in overtake. He's ready to go and Nagybot has bolted. Goes into the distance. He's already he's had a great restart. He's already a second clear. As Enzo's weaving.
What's happened to Wazee? He's in last.
He is. I think he's had a spin on the safety car there on the restart. And and this is not good for VR. As Surat makes a move on Kobayashi. Kevin as well. And there's a bit of a kerfuffle going on. Kobayashi's been off put from Cineflow and now Kevin's going to need to get past Kobayashi. He has not got the straight line speed to do it down this turn 4.
Williams up the inside of Nuvolari.
And Nuvolari is very wide. He brushes the wall. Martino has made his move. He's got his man. See, Kevin's got past Kobayashi as well. And you see what Matt can do. Matt's not in as he is using his overtake now. He's going for the move gravity. He's in the slipstream overtake mode. VR goes semi-defensive. Matty up the inside of the hairpin. They're side by side. Matt gives him a squeeze on the exit. Gets the move on the inside, but can he keep it on the exit? Gets the power down. VR's on the inside line through this corner though. He's got his overtake on as well. Matt gives him a squeeze again. They're side by side. Coming through the final sector. They've made contact, but Matt's made the move stick up into P2. That is big for his race.
That was a sensational move. He launched one up the inside and then managed to hang on around the outside and the next right-hander.
Credit to VR as well. He gave him a lot of respect. Great racing from the two drivers.
Enzo's now right on the
yeah,
back of him as
big
VR
slide
has
from
slided.
VR. But Enzo's looking to make a move past. We've seen Nuvolari in the background defending from Surratt.
Big mistake from the McLaren.
And Enzo's around the outside, all the way to the inside of turn 2. Can he make the move stick? He can't. He's going to back out of that one, but he's going to have a chance going down at the end of the straight as VR's really struggling for pace. Gravity, he's nearly up the DRS zone. And Enzo's possibly looking for a move at the end of the straight.
Right over the back of Nuvolari at the same time.
He is. We will flick back to that.
Nuvolari's going defensive.
And he's round the outside, late on the brakes, and he's got the move done. But he has picked up a penalty in the process. It was a good move from the Williams driver. Round the outside of Nuvolari.
Did the complete opposite move to his teammate just one lap ago, and Nuvolari's falling down the order.
He is, and now Enzo's looking to make a move on VR, same as what Matt did on the previous lap, but he's way ahead already as they come into the hairpin. As Enzo down the inside makes him. Oh, he squeezed him too hard! And he's got wing damage. And that looks as if his chances have taken a big hit in this race. Did VR pick up damage? He seemed to get away with it as well. I think Enzo was too aggressive there. VR was still on the outside.
Yeah, you can't expect the car to just disappear, especially if there's a wall right next to them.
I think he thought he'd got the move done, but VR was still there and he had the right to be there as Enzo is into the pit lane. And got DRS enabled finally, but look at the gap Nagybot's built already.
We said those medium runners had to bolt quickly, and that just hasn't happened. Nagybot has strolled away from them.
He has, and we've now got the two Williams drivers fighting as Martin has a massive slide coming out of turn 2. And his teammate Surratt on fresh mediums is going to look to make his move. He's got slipstream and DRS. He's going to look to make a move down in the same place. Looking on the inside, but doesn't quite go for the move in the end. Hangs back. He's got the long straight to come. Trying to keep as close as possible through the left-hander, and that dirty air is quite difficult. But he's done a reasonable job. I don't think Martino will battle too hard on the old set of hards, but he is using his ERS.
All at the same time.
Yeah, just ahead. Pitbull, yeah. And he has made the move around the outside. So, out of nowhere, Pitbull is looking good in this race.
Oh, so
oh dear. And there's damage.
He's picked up some damage from
to both cars, I think. Martino might have gotten away with it. Yeah, he's got big damage.
Oh, that was a bit reckless.
I think they just could have been a little bit more patient. That's a big struggle for him now. I'll come back in this race. But yeah, it's interesting to see Pitbull is he's already got past one of the medium runners. He's got a long way to go to Matt. And Matt doesn't seem to be really.
I feel like we haven't talked about him much this race, but he is P3.
Yeah, I think he was strong in the first stint. Sort of just kept his nose clean, kept himself in the running, and it seems to be paying off. But VR is looking to possibly get the move back done on him. He's not giving up on his position yet. And he's got a great exit, and he's in overtake mode. He wants to go for the move, and he is really gaining down the end of the straight. Pitbull doesn't go defensive. And VR is up the inside, gets the move done. So he's back up into P3. How long will it be until these mediums start to drop off?
The issue with that is He's used all his it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. He's had a shocking exit.
he's used a lot of his ERS as well, if you see him, but both of them are struggling for ERS. And he's in the slipstream with the DRS flap opened. Not quite gain enough though, with the lack of energy that he's got. He's going to need to save some. Surratt is... Oh, there's been a spin! VR's lost it on the curve on the outside.
Ooh.
He's kept out of the wall again in this race. As we see it, more contact down at the back. It's Sinaflow at the hairpin. And, oh, Davi's been spun as well, nearly. He gets away with it. And they're side by side now, coming through towards the final sector. I'm not sure if Sinaflow picked up damage. As Davi ran the outside, outbreaks quite easily with Sinaflow with the wing damage. So his race goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, VR46 is dangerous in this race.
He has. He's avoided the wall about 3 times already.
Oh,
and he's spun, and there he goes, and he's in the wall. He's on the edge for a lot of that stint. Big wing damage, I think, for the McLaren driver now. But what is interesting, Gravity, is Surratt with the wing damage. He's going to go for P3. Yeah, look, he's on him. So,
just shows
still good pace for him. And we've got, yep, VR still having issues through sector 1. That's why we got the yellow flag out. And I think he's in the wall, Gravity. So, from what was looking like a decent race from him, has ended horribly. And yeah, he's finally got going again.
Well, when you're sliding so much, it's easy to overheat your rear tyres, and then the grip you think you have, you just don't. Yeah. There's nothing much you can do about it.
Well, Matt's not really reeling in Nagybot the way that we possibly thought he would. So that's disappointing for his races. VR's had another spin, and he is out, Gravity. That could be a safety car, and most likely will be a safety car of some sorts. In the position that his car is in.
Looks like he entered the barrier rear first.
Oh, so he's had another spin then. And they've cleared the car somehow, which was on the racing line, but you know, so no safety car here. Drivers carry on. Well, we've got a train for him for P3 now. Kevin's looking to get a move on. He's right in the back of Martineau. Is he going to make a move down into turn 1? No, he's not got his ERS on. Thinks better of it. And Nivellari as well is behind these guys, and I believe he's going to the end. But for Kevin's race, he needs to get past these guys.
So difficult though when you're in a train and everyone has DRS. I say that, Martin does not have DRS. This could be his chance, either into here or down the large back straight.
Oh, he's done a couple of moves around the long left-hander. We'll see if he makes another move there, if he waits until the straight. He looks a little bit too far back on this occasion. But he will have a lot of slipstream. And the advantage of his overtake, he's got plenty to use. As he's out of the slipstream. He seems to have ducked out of the slipstream there.
Is he?
Yeah, he's going to the market, but I think he's still going as he dives to the inside line. Makes a move down the inside. He may be ghosted. Right. I think he's disconnected.
I think he must have disconnected.
He has.
Oh,
that's disastrous for
Kevin. Such a shame.
We were looking to see what he could do in these final stages, but no. He's had some connection issues as Surratt is still hounding the back of Pitbull with that wing damage. So good pace from him.
There's about 10 laps to go. It'll be interesting to see when all the medium runners decide to pit. Or at least the medium runners that we know need to pit.
Well, we were talking about Surratt possibly going to the end. Do you think he still will, that wing damage? I think his pace is looking good. I think the best he can get is probably P3. As we see Nivellari's making his way past Kevin, who has disconnected from the session. I think Surratt wants to get past Pitbull now, but they seem to be on very similar pace with the damage that he's got. So, well, Pitbull's got a bit wide.
That being said, Pitbull has very little ERS remaining.
Yeah,
And
Serrat
Serrat
has got Seb saved out. And he is going to go for the move.
He's already using it.
Yep, he is. He's gaining on him. Pitbull is already harvesting as he's got nothing left. And Serrat dives to the inside very late, right up against the wall. Good move from the Williams driver. He is past the AlphaTauri. Now he's going to look to try and close onto the back of Matt, but it's going to be difficult.
He's doing a mighty good job with that wing damage, I must say.
Yeah, I think if he had a full front wing, if he was a bit more patient with that move, then he could be on for a very good result here.
That's coming in. Here we go.
Into the pit lane then.
Softs, I imagine.
Yep, he can go softs to the end.
He's gonna lose so many positions. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. But if he's got the pace, there's no reason why he can't do it. But on go the soft tyres for the Mercedes driver. He is going to come out in P9 behind Wazzy. But he is a long way off Gravity. But yeah, the soft difference is about 2 seconds up quicker. And he will actually be jumped here by Enzo, I think, as they're going to turn one. No, he should make it out ahead of him. So that's good for the Mercedes driver. He's got plenty there to push into now.
In the meantime, it looks like Kevin has returned to us.
He has. That's good for his race then. He has lost a lot of time.
But it has led Maldi right into his DRS.
It's interesting because Maldi's looking strong at this point. P7 should be going to the end of the race. Almost set of mediums. And he's got a lot of ERS saved out. So if he can keep with Kevin, Kevin could possibly drag him along and slip him a DRS. And,
he's only 3 seconds behind Nuvolari.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin's
gone very deep into the head.
And that's going to give Maudi a little look in, but I don't think he's going to be looking to make the move unless Kevin really is struggling. Yeah, Kevin needs to get a move on if he is going to... I mean, he could still get a podium in this race, Galaxy.
That's true.
The hard one is...
though, sometimes it's quite difficult to get back into the rhythm of things.
In the pits,
it just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, it is difficult when you get back in, but yeah, Martino is into the pits. We'll go on a set of soft tyres. So these drivers on the hard tyres, well, that's the thing, the hard tyres are going to really struggle to get to the end. You know, they're going to be doing another 7 odd laps on these. As Maudi nearly drives into the back of Kevin, and he's made contact with Kevin. And Kevin's been half span, and I think they've both gotten away with it mostly. They've lost about 2 seconds. Maudi with a bit of a misjudgment there. And it's cost them a big chunk of time.
Wazzy right.
Yeah.
Right on the back.
You know who's catching Wazzy as well. You see him in the background of your screen. It is Matty Banter.
I'm sure last lap I
7
caught a
laps.
glimpse of that gap, and it was over 4 seconds. He's now brought it to almost 1.5.
And these two are battling as well.
Flying.
Wazzy is now on the back of Maudi. He's not got a massive amount of VRS though, he is saving. But now he seems to be closing in on Maudi. Not quite close enough into the hairpin though. He's not going to go for the move. Yeah, Maudi's lucky to get away with that, I think. Just tapped the back of the Brazilian. Luckily they're both able to continue, but as we said, it has cost him a big chunk of time. As Matt is now right on the back of Wazzy. He's caught a second in 2 corners, Gravity. He needs to get past ASAP. Look how much quicker he is in this final sector. He's going to go around the outside.
Oh,
what a move from the Mercedes.
He has the grip.
Brilliant move. Around the outside, taking no prisoners. And he's got Maudi in front now. He's going to look to dispose of him as quickly as possible. Possibly down this straight into turn 1. He's going to use his overtake. And Maudi doesn't fight it.
Doesn't
Matt on the inside. It's a brilliant move from the Mercedes, and he's got 2 in the space of about 4 corners.
He's done that very efficiently, and that is going to be crucial.
It is. That is what he needs to do in this race.
Winning this race.
He's still a big way off the lead, but a podium at least is on the cards for sure for a Mercedes driver. He is close enough to go for a move at the end of the straight, I think. Yeah, look, he's already right on the back of Kevin. So, here we go then, down the straight. Tucks into the slipstream, he's already gaining on him massively. Going to open his DRS
Yeah,
gap. He doesn't even need to use his overtake. So, yeah, up the inside for the Mercedes driver. Up into P5. He's really making inroads here. And he's now 5 seconds down on Nuvolari. So let's keep an eye on that gap. 6 laps to go.
Especially all the cars in front of him are indeed going to the end. Their tyres may well fall off the cliff right towards the end.
They certainly will, yeah. Well, you think Serrat's going to have to go 15 laps on a set of mediums, even 16, I think. Nagibot, Pitbull, and Nuvolari, they're all going to be going, yeah, 23 odd laps. Gravity. A set of hards. Yeah, so man into the pits. Obviously, didn't think he could make it to the end. So we'll see what his pace is like as well. Try and get a few points in this race. Where will he come out? He will come out P10. He is behind Martineau, who's on a set of softs. So a lot of work for him. So we've got a yellow flag. That's Davi.
Davi's out of spin.
Yeah. Not been a good race for the Red Bull driver so far. And not a lot of time to make amends. Matt's caught a second already. I think he's going to need to be gaining a bit more than that if he wants to win.
Yeah, that's the thing. The softs are rapid when you first get on them, but 3 laps in, they go off very fast.
Well, they're not too bad until you've done about 6 laps on them, and then they start to drop off. So he should still have strong pace. We'll see how much he's down or up on his time. 4 attempts down, so it's not really been the cleanest lap for him. He's still gaining. I think a podium is definitely on the cards for him at least. It's going to be difficult to catch Nagibot out in front, who's just controlled this race. I think the question is as well, will Maudi and Martineau catch, well I was about to say are they going to catch Wazzy, but Wazzy's into the pits. So that's going to help those behind as well to get a few places. Well, I assume they don't think they can get to the end. Otherwise you wouldn't pit this late, as Matt's caught a big chunk of time through that final sector. 2.5 seconds behind. And we will keep an eye. What is his gap to the leader at the moment? It's 13 seconds, so I think the win is definitely going to be difficult. As Nuvolari picks up a time penalty. Yeah, this is the field's pretty spread out now. The closest anyone is Matty to Nuvolari, and it's going down and down every lap. And Nuvolari is catching Pitbull so slightly, so they all seem to be bunching together.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see as Serrat's mediums become more and more worn. I predict the gap between him and Pitbull will close, and all 4 of these guys.
But yeah, the hards are going to drop off as well.
Each other.
I think the top 4, all their tyres are going to drop off at very similar stages. So if Matt has kept his tyres in good condition whilst still having good pace, it's always possible. Matt's going to be within DRS on this lap, and Nuvolari still catching Pitbull. You can see all 3 of these on your screen, and Serrat as well as on the screen. How close they all are.
We did have some safety cars, which meant fewer laps at full pace.
Yeah, I think it will definitely help those guys in front with the tyre wear, as they didn't have to do as many full pace laps. They can save their tyres under the safety car. And Matt is right on the back of Nivellari now. So, don't think the Alfa Romeo is going to have much to contend with Matt, who is on the soft tyres.
Yeah, he's not using his overtake.
And Matt's not
Much
either,
like
though.
Kevin, I think he's just accepting his fate.
Matt can get the move done without using overtake, but Nivellari has gone defensive into the hairpin, and Matt's made the move around the outside. Didn't need the inside line, and that is another good overtake from the Mercedes driver. And next up the road is Pitbull. Matt's still keeping up this pace, so gap to leader is about 10 seconds. He's gained 3 seconds on that, well, the last 2 laps. Getting about 1.5 a lap. So Surratt as well has kept a very good pace. We haven't mentioned him recently. Obviously he's still got that damage. He's managed to keep reasonably close to Nagy out in front, and keeping Pitbull well behind, as Matt is very, very close already to Pitbull. Gravity.
He's still got a good amount of ERS. He's not.
Yeah, he's not had to use it.
These guys.
I don't think he's going to try and go for the move down this straight, as it's not really going to help him at all. He's gaining and gaining though. Is he going to go for the move down the inside? No, he thinks better of it. He knows it's better for his race if he gets the DRS and slipstream.
I think that's a smart move.
It's interesting. Matt goes 4th gear through the long left and short shifts at the exit. I mean, it's working for him, as we see Enzo up into P6. So Matt's still short shifting, but he has made the move past Pitbull, and this Pitbull is going to fight back. No, he's accepted. He knows that Matt is a lot quicker, and Matt is now in P3. Next up the road is Surratt. I think the victory is definitely off the cards, but P2 is definitely reachable.
I was questioning his strategy a bit earlier on this race.
He's nailed it, hasn't he?
He's done quite well. He's just breezed past all the cars he's had to overtake.
Also watching Kevin, who's trying to get back at Enzo. Seems to be struggling there. He seemed to, when he rejoins, he hasn't quite found the rhythm that he had at the start. It's definitely hurt him. Yeah, he's dropping off the back now. Nivellari's still about the same gap to Pitbull, so I think he would have really wanted to try and use Matt to get him closer to the AlphaTauri. He hasn't quite made that work. You see Martino is also catching the back of Kevin and Enzo. Not sure if he'll be able to do it by the end of the race, but keep an eye on that. Matt's definitely not catching as fast as he was when he was catching the...
Well, you say that, he's gained a second on Surratt in front, and he'll be in position on the final lap, I'm sure.
There's 1.3 coming down the straight, so we'll focus on this battle now. But Martino is still catching Gravity. So here at the end of the race, he could move himself up.
Just outside
he is.
the DRS range.
So he's given it all he's got with the tyres that he's got left. They're both in 20 lap 1 hards. Not the tyre grip they're going to be looking for, but they're going to make the most of it. That needs to get within DRS over the start finish line realistically. He's just outside, I think. Yeah. He's just missed out on it. So he's going to need to get himself in position down the first straight, ready for the move down the second straight. Surratt has got a reasonable amount of ERS. Matt's got a little bit more than him though. And Nivellari as well, Gravity, is looking to make a move. As well as Martino as well, who's close right up to Kevin.
Pitbull has cut that corner by quite a margin.
So here we go then, Gravity. Matt right on the back of Surratt. This is his chance to get himself into P2. We've got a yellow flag. That is Davy off at the end of the straight, which these guys are now coming up to. As Matt now dives into the slipstream, he can use all of his ERS that he's got left. He's got plenty to use, as he's now right behind the Williams. Is the Williams going to go defensive? He's not. Matt goes to the inside, and he gets the move done. The Mercedes driver up into P2 on the final lap of this race. And we see Nuvolari has made his move on pitbull as well. And we're going to see behind as well, Martineau right on the back of Kevin. Is he going to make the move at the end of the straight? Kevin's got no ERS left. He's going to the outside line. Down at the end of the hairpin. Is he going to make the move stick? He is. He's got the move done. So all three drivers getting their man at the end of this race. And Matt, with a great strategy, has put himself up into P2. But out in front, Nagybot, he has controlled this race from start to finish. What a race from the Hungarian. He crosses the line and he wins the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Great drive from the Haas driver. Behind him, a very good drive as well from Matty Banter, P2. And Surratt will finish P3. He has a penalty. Will Nuvolari beat him? No, Nuvolari's got a penalty as well. So Surratt will be your final podium sitter. Nuvolari finishes P4. Pitbull in the end, good result for him. P5. Enzo will finish P6. Martineau getting that move done on the final lap. He will start P7. Kevin down in P8. I think he's got a timing glitch, but he won't get beat by Wazzy anyway. As Wazzy has a bit of a slide in the penultimate corner, but he crosses the line and he gets points on his debut. Not a bad result from him. And STB Maudi as well. He gets his first points of the season, as long as he hasn't got penalties. As Kobayashi will finish in P11. And behind them, Cineflow and Davi's still going. Davi's off at the end of the straight again. He's had a bit of an adventure this race, so... But yeah, a very entertaining race here in Vietnam, much better than last week's in Bahrain. Overtakes throughout the field, battles throughout the field, and 3 last lap moves as well. So I will ask you, actually, who was your driver of the day?
That's an interesting question, because Matt absolutely stormed through the field after his pit stop.
Well, if the chat, everybody in the chat, if you want to let us know your driver of the day.
But you've got to also consider Surratt, because with wind damage, his pace was fantastic.
Without the damage, I would have said in P2 quite comfortably, possibly even battled for the win. So I think all 3 drivers on the podium have been very, very good this race. So TM4 says Nagybot. I think
that was a fair shout.
I think, yeah, for me, Nagybot is my driver of the day. You know, nothing phased him in that race. 2 safety cars. You know, he must have changed his strategy midway through as well. I don't think he was going for that. So for me, I think Nagybot was driver of the day, just in front of Matt. But here are your results for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. So it is Nagybot who takes the victory, his first victory of the season. Matt stands in P2, second podium of the season. Surratt will finish in P3. Good result from him, all considering. Nuvolari as well, quiet race, but he's good P4. Pitbull on his debut, P5. Enzo down to P6, be a little bit disappointed with that. Martineau P7 on his debut. Kevin down in P8, again will be very disappointed with that, with his championship aspirations. Wazzy P9, and Maudi gets his first points of the season in P10. Good race from him, started P17. Kobayashi just missing out on points. Cineflow as well, and Davi just behind, and those are your retirees. So let's get Matt into the party. I think he will be the only interview for tonight, as the other 2 don't have the best English. But I'm sure both of them will be very, very happy with their results. Matt, your mic is a bit... There we go.
That was a rustle and a half.
Right, so Matt, if you want to include your audio, we'll give you a couple of questions. If your mic is working, hello. So, well done. Very good race from you. You've stormed your way through the field in that final stint. Was that your strategy the whole time, or did the safety cars kind of sort of switch things up for you, and you sort of just made your mind up when it came?
The soft, medium, soft was my strategy from the start, but obviously because of the safety cars, I hit it a few laps later on the mediums. I was supposed to be lap 18, a bit lap 90, so I just took a punch it hard, soft, harder for longer. So didn't have to take care of them at the same time. I could just punch it in a position what I needed.
We saw you when you were storming your way through. You took no prisoners with the overtakes. There was a great move around the outside of, I believe it was Pitbull, in the final sector.
And that was Yazzie, I think.
Oh, okay, so that was him. And then you made the move, obviously, down the inside at the hairpin a couple of times. So yeah, some really good overtakes in that race. Was that one of your favourite races with the fight back through the field?
For sure, for the last bit of the race, yes. I mean, the start of the race wasn't exactly great because I lost 2 positions off the start, and it was a safety car. And then when the second safety car came out, I was worried that the one-stoppers were going to get an advantage on me. But then I was thinking, this hard's not very good, and I was stuck in traffic. So if I can gain on the softs, and hopefully the least much time I can at the end. So, but that was, I don't know, that was it really.
And next week we head to China. How are you feeling ahead of that one? Are you feeling as if maybe you can be on the podium again, or possibly even fight for a victory, or is it one that you're going to struggle at?
I think China is one of those tracks I think I might struggle at, to be honest. I mean, I think a podium is still definitely possible, but it's definitely one of those tracks I'm going to have to work even harder at to get the similar results. So that'll be a difficult track for me. Same with Netherlands, I'm not good around Netherlands either, so if it's next races, it's going to be difficult for me.
Well done on the race tonight. It was great seeing you come back through the field. Some great entertainment for us
Probably.
up here. But that concludes your first Vietnamese Grand Prix in Tier 2. A pretty good race, I would say, from tonight. It had it all, 2 safety cars. We had fightbacks through the field. There was incidents. So we will look to do it all again next week. Thank you for everybody who has watched the stream tonight. Do join us next week for our Tier 1 race on the Monday, the Chinese Grand Prix, and Tier 2 same time next week. We'll see you then.